Hey everyone, we tend to think about workplace culture as this massive, complicated thing, something shaped by big, lofty mission statements. But what if I told you the most powerful force shaping your team's culture is actually just a series of small, tiny choices you make every single day? Well, today, we're going to break down 3 simple rules that prove a leader's daily impact is, well, everything.
All right, so let's kick things off with a big question, one that gets right to the heart of it. We've all been there, right? High-pressure jobs, but does high pressure automatically mean the culture has to be toxic? It's really easy to lump them together, but are they actually the same thing? Let's find out. And the answer really starts right here. The secret to a healthy culture, even when the heat is on, isn't found in some grand gesture. Nope, it's not the pizza parties, it's not the company retreat. It's forged in those quiet, consistent, daily moments. It's all about the little interactions that add up over time to define what it really feels like to work somewhere.
Okay, so let's dive into our very first principle. This one is all about how you, as a leader, start the day. Now, it might sound almost too basic, but believe me, its impact is enormous.
So this first idea is captured in what our source material calls Rule #398, be a morning person. But hang on, don't worry. This has nothing to do with being chipper at 7 a.m. Think of it more like a metaphor. It just means that the second you walk in the door, you make a choice to be present and engage with your team, no matter what else is weighing on your mind.
Just think about the difference. On one hand, you walk in, you're stressed. You make a beeline for your desk with your head down. The unintentional message you're sending is, don't bother me. But what if you make the intentional choice to just greet your team? It takes, 30 seconds? And it sends a completely different signal. I see you. You matter.
And this really, really matters. That simple act of saying hello stops you from sending negative signals you never meant to send in the first place. It sets a positive, approachable tone for the entire day. And this becomes even more critical when you're working with international teams, where a direct greeting isn't just nice, it can be a fundamental sign of respect. Okay, so let's move on to our next principle, and you'll see how these ideas build on each other. This one tackles that big question we asked right at the start, that whole high pressure versus toxic thing.
And the answer, summed up in Rule #178, is a big, clear no. High pressure does not have to equal a toxic culture. It is absolutely possible to have a demanding, high-stakes job without letting the environment turn sour. The two are not the same thing, and a leader's job is to know the difference.
So here's the key distinction. The pressure? That comes from the job itself. The tough assignments, the big goals, the crazy deadlines, that's what you signed up for. But the culture, well, that's all about how you and your team handle the impact of that pressure. The job is the cause, the culture is the effect you create. So here's the crucial point. The pressure is a constant. It's always going to be there. But the culture, that's a variable. And the person who controls that variable is the leader. Your response to stress, how you communicate in a crisis, how you back your team up when things get tough, that is what separates a challenging but healthy culture from a toxic one.
Ultimately, it just boils down to this really powerful and simple idea of accountability. Creating a healthy culture under pressure isn't someone else's problem to solve. It starts with you. And that brings us to our final principle. Honestly, this one is kind of the superpower that makes the other two actually work. If you want to set the right tone and handle pressure like a pro, you have to get this right.
Rule 533 puts it in a way I just love. We have to learn to listen so that we can listen to learn. See the switch there? It reframes listening. It's not a passive thing you just do. It's an active, intentional skill. You're not just waiting for your turn to talk. You're actively trying to understand. It's like exercise, but for leadership.
So how do you actually do it? Well, it breaks down into 4 simple steps. First, you have to consciously hit pause on your own agenda. Just stop thinking about what you're going to say next. Second, really hear the words the other person is using. Third, try to find the meaning behind those words. What's the real issue they're getting at? And finally, be open to actually adapting your own understanding based on what you just heard.
Okay, so we've got these 3 big principles. How do we pull it all together? How do you turn these ideas into a consistent daily practice that actually makes a real impact? Think of it as your new leadership toolkit. It's this simple. Number 1, set the tone the second you walk in the door. Number 2, remember that pressure is part of the job, but your response is what defines the culture. Own it. And number 3, the foundation for everything, make it a habit to listen to learn, not just to reply.
And that, right there, is the biggest takeaway. Real leadership isn't about the title on your business card or where you are on the org chart.
It's a verb. It's something you do through a series of small, conscious choices you make, day in and day out.
So I'll leave you with this one final question. Looking at these three ideas, setting the tone, handling pressure, and listening to learn, which one of these small but incredibly powerful actions will you choose to start doing tomorrow?